Welcome to Equip with Pastor Steve Hamner. Join us today as we are creating a world that Christ can live in. For more information, visit our website at wordoffaithtuscaloosa.com.
Hi, welcome. I'm so glad to have you join me again on today. We're dealing with the God who still performs miracles. Our foundation scripture is found in the book of Judges, the 6th chapter, verses 1 through 21. I'm basically looking at verses 12 and 13. When Gideon meets an angel, and the angel speaks and tells him that the Lord is with him, and he calls him a mighty man of valor, and that he has chosen Gideon to bring the Israelites from under the authority of the Midianites who had come into the land and had taken over. And the scripture says that Gideon began to question the angel, and he asked the question simply, where are the miracles that we heard our fathers mention to us about God? And so what I'm dealing with in these series of lessons is I want us to be able to know that the God that we serve, he is still performing miracles, and he still desires to perform miracles. Last time we talked, we asked the question, what is a miracle? And we said that a miracle is the supernatural intervention into the ordinary course of nature, events, and circumstances. We also said that a miracle is a sign and a wonder. So when we define a miracle, we talk about supernaturally intervening in the ordinary course of what takes place. The Bible talks about, in the Old Testament especially, about a particular event that occurred where the sun stood still. Now that's a supernatural intervention where we know that according to the way nature is, that the sun, it rotates on its axis. But yet we have this person of God who prays and asks the Lord to help him to fight this battle by giving him more daylight. That would be classified as a miracle, where God intervenes, steps into the ordinary way that things are going, and then he can create a miracle. Now, today we want to look at the things that are needed when we're talking about a miracle. What are the two elements, if you will, that are needed if we are going to see a miracle and if God is going to perform a miracle? Those two things are faith and obedience. The two things that we have to have in operation in our lives and in our midst is we have to have faith and we have to have obedience. Listen at this statement. One of the greatest compliments that we can give God is to say to him that we trust him with our lives. And when we say that, God will honor that, and then God will be moved to work on our behalf. Now you want to begin to get God involved in your life, to set an atmosphere where God can come in and do the impossible for you. You begin to give your life to God. You begin to say, Lord, I trust you with my life. Then that moves God to get involved in whatever is taking place in your life. So let's define the word confidence, and let's define the word obedience. The word faith is simply confidence in someone or confidence in something. It is also belief in someone, and it is belief in something. Okay, so what is obedience? Obedience is simply complying with and following the commands, the instructions, and the restrictions that are set upon you. Those are the two elements that are needed if you are expecting a miracle from God to be manifested in your life. So the next thing we want to ask is this: well, what is a miracle composed of? For something to be classified as a miracle, what has to be in place? What has to be in place, or what has to take place if I am going to see a miracle? Now, understand this. You have to have an impossible situation. You have to connect it with the power of God. That equals your miracle. So you have an impossible situation. You have the power of God. You have an impossible situation plus the power of God equals a miracle. 2 + 2 = 4. So that is the way you will get a miracle. A situation, for example, a situation has formed where there is no natural or reasonable solution. No reasonable solution. Situation forms. There's no natural way out of this thing. There's no normal or reasonable solution. You have to have a miracle. Say, for instance, you have resources and you need money. where at one time they were available, that they are no longer available. That is an impossible situation. Get God in on that. You can receive a miracle. Also, you can have feelings of there's no cure, there's no hope. Doctor gives you a bad report. That is an impossible situation. Factor in God's power, God's ability equals a miracle. So a miracle is needed today. A miracle is what you are looking for. Then you need to begin to operate in faith and obedience. Whatever God tells you to do, whatever God tells or speaks to you, you have to be willing to do that. You have to align your faith with what God says and then believe that God is able to do what God says that he can do. Thank you for joining me today. Look forward to seeing and being with you on the next time. God bless you.
For more information, visit our website at wordoffaithtuscaloosa.com.